What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode of All About Lighting Part 2, I'll be showing you how to install lighting in a room where there is no overhead lighting. So let's get started. Yeah. So now we're in a room where we actually have no lighting. What we want to do is put can lights here, approximately 3 or 4 can lights, depending on what size we put. But we have no existing lighting to tap into. So we do know that from that outlet, it's controlled by this switch, which means that outlet is supplying power to this switch. So here, we know that we can go up through the attic and actually tap in to get our lights controlled by this switch and change out that switch to have that existing switch to stay on. So let's get everything set up and I'll show you what I need.
Possible. So hopefully you can see inside the box. What we have is the power wire coming in, which is your black. It's coming from this side and it's actually feeding here. So that's your power coming in. And then what you have is your neutral connected on the other side of the plug. So where they have this wire actually feeding back to the side, which is that switch, which I'll show you, it actually goes back to the switch through the white and comes back along this side, which is the black. So I'll demonstrate right now. I do have the power on. So once I turn the switch on, it actually feeds power back from the switch through this line. So I'll show you at the switch what it's actually doing. Right now we have power coming in. So you see there's no power there, but the power is coming in through the white. So that's bringing power to the switch. So that's where you have to be careful at, because if you always remember, white is all neutral. But in this case, since we're working on a switched outlet, you have to take power to and from. So you use one wire to go to and the other to go back to the outlet. So in this case, they're bringing it through the white wire. So if you remember, as we look down here, the white wire is connected to the black, which takes the power to that switch. So from there, which we see is bringing power, but going back with the switch off, we get no power. So now that means that switch is not activated. So as we hit this switch, which I'll turn on, we see now that the power is going through, traveling back on the black line, which has activated the light, and comes back and activates this black line, which activates that switch. In other words, activate the light also. So what we're gonna do is we're going to disconnect everything there. The power that comes here, we're going to actually run it from here up to the attic. So we'll drill a hole there, and up in the attic we'll put our can lights here along this section of wall. So let's get everything set up and I'll show you how it's done. Here is what we have in the attic. And we have ductwork running over where our hole should be coming through. So what we're gonna do, instead of moving everything and drilling through the one eye and trying to get an angle going down here, we're gonna drill from the bottom coming up. There are no
wires, as you can see, so we should be safe. And this is our wall top plate here. So we're going to be coming through here, and what we're going to do, instead of cutting holes in the sheetrock, we're going to drill from the bottom coming up. And that way we don't have to go at an angle here to try to get a straight line going down. So let's get everything set up and go from there. Now that we got the drill bit through, we're gonna take our wire, which we're using 14-2 Romex, and we're gonna tape it to the end of the bit. You can pull it from the bottom if you have enough room, but I don't think we have enough room for the clearance to get the drill bit and rod all the way through before we can get it pulled. So we're gonna tape this up and pull it down through. And just remember, when you're taping it, don't tape too much around the bit. Try to keep it as thin as possible. Got the wire set up and cut. So let's do our measurements for everything else before we go any farther. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna find where our studs come across and where we want to place our light. So we're gonna take our measurements, locate the studs so we know that our light is not gonna fall on the stud. And in here, we're gonna do 3. So we'll do 1 over the doorway or in that vicinity, 1 possibly either side of that vent, and 1 more over here. So we're gonna try to get them as evenly spaced as possible. But for this room size, 3 should be enough. So what we're gonna do now is get our measurements, locate the studs, and drill our first hole. So what we'll do is take the other end of the wire that we pulled and we'll bring it over to find our hole and drop it down in the hole. And then we'll drill the next hole, take that wire, drop it to the next one, and so on. So let's go up in the attic and push this wire through. Okay, so our hole for our tin, right? You can see it is there. So we want to cut the end of the wire from the attic and feed it to that point and drop it down in that hole. have our wire ran from this switch up to the attic, to that first light, fished over to the next light, and then fished over to the final light. We're going back to where we started. We're going back to the plug, which that switch actually controlled. So let's get this set up and we'll show you how to get the wired power from here to the switch.
We're going to start with the outlet. For demonstration purposes, I do have the power on. So this is the line that goes to the switch. This line feeds the other outlets and feeds another circuit, which is not hot. The hot line is here, which I have marked by the blue tape. So that's feeding our outlet or our switch. The other line is going to feed another circuit or other plugs or outlets. And the blue line that I have tape marked is our power line coming in. So from here, we're gonna connect our outlet. On our gold, we're gonna connect all the black lines to the gold side. And the white is gonna go to the silver side. And our green is gonna be our ground. Let's get the circuit turned off and the outlet installed. Now that we got that hooked up, this switch is constantly powered now. So for demonstration purposes, I do have the power on and we can check. We got 2 test lights, which means it's correct. Check both plugs and it means it's correct. So now let's take a look at the switch. To install our switch, first we're going to find the positive wire, which is here. And let's check. This is our positive wire, which is coming from our outlet. And this is the wire that's feeding our lights to the attic. So we're going to take our positive, which is here, and we're going to take our switch and we're going to put one black here and we're going to put the other black here. So the first black that's coming in, and then the one that's going out to the light switch, we'll put it there. Or the 2 neutrals will connect together and the 2 grounds will connect together. So let's get that done. Okay, we have the switch installed, and as you can see, we have both black wires, power coming in, and then once the switch is activated, the power will go out, taking power up to the lights. So let's get the lights installed. So the light we'll be using will be the surface mount LED light, and the way it mounts is we have our hole cut, our tabs slide up through the hole and it snaps in. It has a quick disconnect, so you can do your wires and basically it screws off to disconnect. So you're gonna have to hold it up. Pull it, it has the 3 prongs. And your wires gonna go in the box. It's gonna go the same way we've been doing. Black to black, white to white, and copper is your ground. And we're gonna connect all 3. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna actually open up our box and insert our wires and get those installed.
these. We do have different settings on the box, which we can change. You go to there, there. So you do have different settings. So we're gonna go there. Once again, you just lift it up. Get it snapped in. And that's it. Let's get the other ones installed. Okay, so that's how you install lights in a room with no lighting but an activated outlet switch. So we'll come back and put some mud here and take care of that. But it's a lot easier than cutting holes in the top of the wall or even in the ceiling. So doing it this way, we was able to do minimum damage and less attic time. So that's what it looks like. So we'll probably come back and put a dimmer on that switch, and that's it for this room. It makes a big difference. So let's go. This ends this episode all about lighting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and hit the notification for upcoming videos. And if there's anything you would like to see done as we renovate this house, put it in the comment section. And until then, we'll see you later on the next episode of Renovate This Whole House.
Yeah.